July 1877. The Russo-Turkish War is in full action. The Russians have forced one of the generals of the Ottoman army, Osman Pasha, to retreat to the strategic town of Pleven. On the 19th of July, the Russians tried to storm the city, capturing several fortifications, but the Ottomans' counterattacks make the Russians retreat. The Russians lose about 2,800 men dead or wounded. The Ottomans' casualties are about 2,000 men. In the next days, both sides get reinforcements. The whole West Brigade of the Russian army, about 35,000 soldiers and 184 cannons, is sent to Pleven, while Osman Pasha gets about 20,000 soldiers. On the 30th of July, the Russians start the second attack on Pleven. The Ottomans repel all attacks, causing 7 times more casualties to the Russians. On the 31st of August, the Ottomans go on the offensive but fail and flee back. After the Russians liberated the town of Wałęsa on the 3rd of September, they focused 75,000 troops, 23 of them Romanian, outside of Pleven. The command of the Russian forces is taken by the famous General Mikhail Skobelev. The third attack takes place between the 7th and 13th of September. Though outnumbered, the Ottomans succeed in holding Pleven, and the Russians stop the attack. The 13th of September. After the victory of the Russian and Bulgarian forces at the Shipka Pass, both the Russians and Ottomans know that the results of the war would be determined in the town of Pleven. If more soldiers come to reinforce the Ottomans, the Russians could easily be driven back and lose the war. After losing more than 16,000 troops, the Russians change the strategy. The command is given to General Edward Totleben. He besieges Pleven and blocks all roads leading to the town. Osman Pasha has concentrated about 50,000 troops in Pleven, while the Russians have more than 120,000 soldiers. General Totleben says that there won't be a fourth attack on Pleven. In the next 3 months, the soldiers of Osman Pasha are isolated in Pleven. The Ottomans steal all the food and warm clothes of the Bulgarian population. As a result, thousands of civilians die from hunger, sickness, or freeze to death. On the night between the 9th and 10th of December, Osman Pasha tries to break through the blockade around Pleven on the Vit River and flee to Sofia. The Turkish command wanted to make Sofia the next Pleven. In the morning, the Russians see that the Ottomans are trying to break through the river, and at 10:30 am are pushed back. Around 2 p.m, Osman Pasha capitulates with 34,000 troops. He also gives his saber to the Russians. The overall casualties throughout all battles for the Russian and Romanians is about 38,000 killed or wounded soldiers and about 15,000 killed or wounded Ottoman troops. On the 10th of December, after 3 months of siege, Pleven was liberated. A day after the Russian victory, the Russian Emperor Alexander II entered Pleven and gave back Osman Pasha his saber as a sign of respect. The liberation of Pleven plays a strategic role in the war, and after the victory the Russian army quickly liberates Sofia and Plovdiv. In the end of January, the Russian army enters Odrin. On the 3rd of March 1878 was signed the Treaty of San Stefano, ending the Russo-Turkish War. As a result of the treaty, Bulgaria got liberated and Serbia, Romania and Montenegro got independent. The treaty didn't last long, as a new treaty was signed in Berlin, which drastically limited the Bulgarian territories.